The Blues return to winning ways after hitting Southampton for 6 at St Mary's. Watch until the end of this review to hear all of my thoughts on today's match. Hello people, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. This is my review of the match that took place earlier on today at St Mary's Stadium in the Premier League between Southampton and Chelsea, which Chelsea ended up winning by 6-0. So what I'm going to do for you guys in terms of this review is that firstly, I'll run you guys through the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of today's match against Southampton. I will then be giving you guys my thoughts on the match itself, and yes, I'll be breaking it down into the first half and the second half, and in addition to this, I'll be giving you guys the positives and the negatives. I'll be giving you guys the positives and the negatives that I took from the match. That did not roll off my tongue very easily. And lastly, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming UEFA Champions League quarter-final second leg that will be taking place next Tuesday at the Santiago Bernabeu against Real Madrid, with kickoff at 8 p.m. UK time. So without further ado, let's get straight into this review. So we shall begin by taking a look at the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of today's match against Southampton. And as always, we're going to begin by talking about the formation that was chosen. And in the case of today's match, or in the case of the lineup that was fielded at the beginning of today's match, it was a 3-4-1-2, which is of course a variation of the 3-5-2, but that was the formation that was chosen. And in terms of the personnel that Thomas Tuchel went with, he went with Edouard Mendy in goal, as expected. He went with the same back three that started. He went with the same back three that started against Real Madrid, and that was Andreas Christensen in the right centre back position, Thiago Silva in the centre of our back three, with Antonio Rudiger in the left centre back position. In terms of the four just ahead of the three, it was Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the right. It was Ruben Loftus-Cheek who was in the right wing back position, and I was not expecting that whatsoever. But that's where he was playing because he did start today's game. The two central midfielders were Mateo Kovacic and N'Golo Kante, with Marcos Alonso in the left wing back position. The one just ahead of the four and the one, of course, behind the two was Mason Mount, and the front two, if you like, were Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. So that is the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of today's match against Southampton. Now, I am going to run you guys through my thoughts on the match itself. And yes, we're going to begin by talking about the first half. And we really made a great start to the match. Yes, there were a couple of mistakes in there, but that is always a possibility in any match. So I wasn't too surprised to see some of the mistakes that were made, most notably the corner that was given away cheaply by Antonio Rudiger. But we did make a really fast start to the match. We hit the frame of the goal twice inside the opening 6 minutes, and we really did look threatening whenever we went forward. As well as that, we pressed Southampton really well and did not allow them any time on the ball. But in terms of the opening goal, goodness me, it was a great goal. The ball comes into the box from our right hand side. I think it was Ruben Loftus-Cheek who played the ball in, and the ball fell to Mason Mount, who flicked it on really well to Marcos Alonso, who just drove it through the legs of Fraser Forster. And for me, it was a deserved lead. It was a great goal. And shortly after that, we got the second through Mason Mount. And this also arose from a cross from Ruben Loftus-Cheek down our right-hand side. But the cross did not meet its target. It was meant for Timo Werner, but it fell to Mason Mount, who took a couple of touches to kill the ball, or kill the motion on the ball, or kill the motion of the ball rather. Got there in the end, and he then fired it in to the back of the net. And I have to say, it was a glorious volley. No chance for Fraser Forster there. It was right into the side netting, and then it landed in the corner. that's always going to be difficult to save. But yes, it was a great hit by Mason Mount and another one for him against Southampton. He loves playing against Southampton. But anyways, that was the second goal. Shortly after that, we got the third. And I have to say, this was a brilliant piece of play by Timo Werner because it did arise. Him getting the ball did arise from a mistake by James Ward-Prowse, and I have to say that when I saw that, I wasn't too sure what to say because that was very unlike him because he's normally extremely composed on the ball, and he's normally extremely composed offensively as well as defensively. But um, James Ward-Prowse headed the ball backwards, and it ended up in possession of Timo Werner, who then ran with it, got it under control, took it around Fraser Forster, and he just tapped it home to give Chelsea a 3 goal lead. And he was the player who hit the frame of the goal twice inside the opening 6 minutes. And for me, he deserved it because he was causing Southampton all sorts of problems down their right hand side. But yes, shortly after that, we got the fourth, and Timo Werner hit the frame of the goal again. And thankfully, there was another Chelsea player in Kai Havertz in the box when he did so. Otherwise, I doubt that would have seen us score a fourth goal. But thankfully, Kai Havertz was there to tap it home. He couldn't miss really, but yes, he scored, and um, that gave us a 4-0 lead. And I have to say that overall, we completely dominated that half. Southampton didn't even have a shot on target in the first half. Defensively, we weren't too troubled, although Southampton did also get quite a few set pieces in the first half, but thankfully they didn't really threaten us at all. But yes, they didn't have a single shot on target in the first half, and I have to say that I was not expecting us to come out like that, especially after the recent results that we've had. But this just goes to show you that we shouldn't. Okay, let me not say that. But yes, I was not expecting us to be that dominant in that first half, especially when you consider how good Southampton are as a team. But anyways, in terms of my thoughts on the second half, I'll be honest, I thought we were gonna relax a bit, which we did end up doing. But what I mean by that is that I thought we were gonna relax and try to not score more, um, and just conserve energy ahead of Tuesday's game. But we scored two more, and the fifth goal did come from a really good run by N'Golo Kante, where he did try to chip Fraser Forster, but Fraser Forster did make a really good save. But it did end up in possession of team. It did end up in Timo Werner's possession, and um, let me correct my earlier mistake. The header from James Ward-Prowse did see Timo Werner get in possession of the ball. Um, but yes, Timo Werner did pick up the ball and he just tapped it home. He couldn't miss, but it was a second goal for him, and he was on a hat trick at that point. But yes, that was the fifth goal, and the sixth goal did not come long after that, and it came through Mason Mount. It came after some great build-up play down our left-hand side, where a few of our players took a shot or tried to score, I shall say, and none of them did. But Mason Mount was there to rush into the box and just tap the ball home, and he couldn't miss. But yes, that was the sixth goal, and after that, we just cruised. We did not allow Southampton too much. But yeah, it was a really good performance. I did not expect us to be as dominant as we were. Yes, Southampton did have a shot on target in the second half, but it was straight at Edouard Mendy. It did come through Che Adams, but that was all that they really had. They didn't really threaten us too often at all, except for a couple of pieces of play, but that was it. I thought we defended really well when we had to. I have to be honest, our defenders didn't have too much to do in today's game, but when they did their jobs well. So I have to give them credit for that because it's always easy to lose concentration when there isn't much to do. But yes, they did their jobs well, but offensively, we were superb. And the funny thing is that we could have scored more, but six is enough, I guess. But yes, Overall, dominant performance, a thoroughly deserved win. We were by far the better side. And in terms of the positives and the negatives that I took from the match, three positives, no negatives. And the first of three positives that I took from the match is that we started very quickly, and I did not expect us to do so. But I'm going to leave it as that because I've already touched on this. The second positive that I took from today's match is the fact that everyone played well. For me, um, there were two players who stood out, and they were Timo Werner and Mason Mount. I thought they were both excellent. You can argue that either of them deserve man of the match. The whole team played really well. Let's be honest, they really did, and they deserve credit for that, especially after the recent results we've had. But for me, Timo Werner and Mason Mount were the best two players on the pitch, and they both love playing against Southampton. But anyways, that's the second positive. The third and final positive that I took from the match is that we only gave up one shot on target, and it didn't really test Edouard Mendy, which is an additional positive to a positive. But I've already touched on this as well, so I'm just going to leave it as that. And that is it for my thoughts on the match. Please, guys, do drop your thoughts down below, and I'll do my very best to respond. Let's move on. Now, to end this review, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on our upcoming UEFA Champions League quarter-final second leg that will be taking place next Tuesday at the Santiago Bernabeu against Real Madrid, with kickoff at 8 p.m. UK time. If we turn up in a similar fashion to the way we did in today's game against Southampton, then we have every chance of overturning this deficit and progressing to the semi-final stage of the Champions League. It will absolutely not be easy whatsoever. Going to the Santiago Bernabeu is never easy, and it's especially not easy when you have to overturn a deficit. It's up to the players. I'm not going to say any more than that. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully they do us all proud and progress to the semi-final stage, because a lot of people out there do not think that we're able to progress, and I have to say that I'm one of them. I was one of them before the Southampton game, but I did say that if we won this game and did so convincingly, then we'd have a chance, especially if we replicate. Especially if we replicate. There we go. I apologize, my words are not coming off my tongue very easily. But anyways, especially if we replicate our performance from today's game in Tuesday's game. But we'll have to see. Again, it's up to the players. I do hope you all enjoyed this one. I'll see you very soon. Come on, you Blues. Come on, Thomas Tuchel, and peace.